We did touch last year on inequalities in the MCAT practice stuff last year. So just to go over it again, there are certain rules around solving inequalities that are different from solving equations. Remember that your inequality signs are your less than sign, your less than and equal sign, your greater than sign, greater than an equal sign, and one more. What is it? Not equal to sign. Right? The only other option outside of those is obviously your equal sign, but that's an equation. These are inequations, not equal to equations. All right? And what we have to remember is that when we're solving inequalities, we're looking for usually a set of numbers that doesn't hold. So when we solve things like 2x plus 1 equals 4, we find one answer. When we're solving 2x plus 1 is less than 4, we're going to get a group of numbers that is the answer, and we need to be able to write it correctly. So let's just have a look at that one. What did I just say? 2x plus 1 is less than 4. All right? So the only difference between less than and equal is one extra number. Okay? So when we do this one, we need to just do it the same as normal, which means that we write a line for our working each all the way down, which has an X and has a sign in it. In this particular case, it's the less than sign that we are putting in every line. So we're taking away 1 from both sides. We've got 2x is less than 3. Should be that every line is another equation or inequation in this case. All right? We want to divide by 2. No problems there. Our answer here is every number possibly less than 1.5. All right? That's our answer. So that's easy. Then we get to the less easy ones. So doesn't look that much different, but this time we have a negative x, in fact a negative 7x, and that presents us with a scenario. So we first of all want to get rid of the 5, so we take it away, all right, and then we would divide by negative 7, right, if it was an equal sign. No problems there. The negative signs would cancel, but you can see I've missed the sign out. And that's because up here when we tested a number, let's say 2. 5 minus 14 is greater than or equal to 2. If we put 2 in here, we get 14, right? What is 5 minus 14? Negative 9. Is that greater than or equal to 2? No. So we aren't going to have the set of numbers that are positive. That 2 is not in our set. So at this point, we have to turn our sign around. So it's going to be less than or equal to. So the rule is, if we multiply or divide by a negative, we turn the sign around. All right? Otherwise, we won't get the correct answers. So, that was Year 11. For Year 12 and Year 11 excellence, we need to understand about quadratic inequalities. we're going to start with a nice easy one that says x plus 2, x minus 3 is less than 0. The rule about quadratics equaling 0 still holds, so it still needs to be a 0 on this side. What we're trying to find out here, though, we've got two solutions here. This one we only had one solution. Here we've got two solutions happening. Normally those solutions would be what? Good. -2 and 3. All right? They are still very important. So on our number line, -2 and 3 are here. What this is when is this less than 0? So if these are our solutions when it's equal to, when is this going to be less than 0? The -2 and the 3 are when it's equal to 0. So we've got two other choices, greater than 0 and less than. Travis? Very good. It is between the 2 points. Do you know why? Not quite. What is this? What do we draw this as? A parabola, right? How would we draw it on here? It's a positive one, right? So it would look like this. Where is that less than 0? It's less than 0. That's 0 there. Here. All right? So our answers for this quadratic are going to be between these 2 points because that's where the quadratic is less than 0. So for this one, the answer is going to be x between 3 and -2. So still those two numbers, but the ones inside. So it's likely that they're going to ask you something like this. Right? So it looks nice and easy. Take the 4 away, stick it on the other side, get some numbers going. But what we're actually doing is treating this as a quadratic. So we should factorize. What does that factorize to? Good. The 2's go in the front. So 2 minus x squared and 2 plus x squared. It's a difference of squares, 4 and x squared. So that's our difference of squares. That gives us solutions, if it was equal, as 2 minus what? Equals 0. 2 minus 2. And 2 plus what? -2. So those are our two solutions. But we have to understand this graph. What does this graph look like? Little sketch. 2, -2. Positive or negative quadratic? It's a negative x squared, so it's an up this way one. When is that less than 0? Here and the rest of that, right? So not the inside this time, but the outside. So it's the answer to this is when x is less than -2 or when x is greater than 2. All right, so we have to solve the quadratic, understand the graph to get the correct solution set. Okay.